Welcome back, Polk County Fire Rescue community. It's time again for another video update. Welcome everyone. First, I would like to share some stats about our calls for service last year. I had a request from the field and it sounded like something that, some information that we needed to put out anyway. So here we go. The total calls for service for 2020 were 104,255. This is an increase of over 4% from 2019. That total was 100,226. The calls for service are broken up into four major categories: EMS calls, fire calls, traffic accidents, and other. The category of other calls are like fire standbys and assisting other agencies such as law enforcement, like that. The other calls represent less than 2% of our total calls for service, so not a large number. Here's a breakdown of the 2020 calls for service. EMS calls increased by about 4.68%, while fire calls were up almost 9%. Traffic accidents, however, were down about 4.3%, and we were surprised at that until we looked at the timing, and that was the time during most of the lockdowns during the pandemic, so most of our residents were home. Our numbers tracked with the lockdown orders. The other category of calls were down by about 2% also. The chart on the screen is a breakdown of the 2020 calls for service. Next, I would like to talk about the recent changes in PPE requirements put out by the CDC and the impact on our responding members. As we all have seen, there's a plethora of doctors on every network espousing their opinions on this subject, or many subjects for that matter. Hearing of these alleged changes, I did what I normally would do. I asked OMD, what is changing for us here at Polk County Fire Rescue? The answer I received was one that I somewhat expected but needed to hear it firsthand. The answer was that nothing has changed for Polk County Fire Rescue. Our PPE policy and protocols were developed by the fire chief in coordination with Dr. Banerjee and those folks at OMD. Our overriding philosophy is the safety and well-being of every member of Polk County Fire Rescue. Any proposed changes to any of our protocols will be thoroughly vetted by the chief and OMD to make sure that there is a science and a necessity behind the change. As always, I encourage every member to ask OMD when you have a question. To make it easy, there's an email address that we have published. We can use it, and we can ask our questions that way and get a speedy response. It's askomd@Polk County Fire Rescue, polk-county.net. Well, that's it for now. Contact me if you need to know anything or you'd like to see anything included in the next videos. Email's always the best. It's rickparnell@polk-county.net. We'll see you next time.